Ever heard of a centaur? Ever heard of the reverse? A horse head on a human body?
Ooh.
Well, that's basically what Hasbro cooked up for their wild spin on a fashion doll line for My Little Pony.
Yay.
Hasbro's audacious attempt to transform pastel-colored ponies into human teenagers was, well, interesting to say the least.
Get it off! Jack off somewhere!
To me, someone who wasn't collecting dolls or ponies at the time this was released, and wasn't even aware of this line until a few years ago, these dolls come off as a little uncanny to me. Which means that I need to explore how these little pony girls came into being. Some collectors think that the My Little Pony dolls were a fun way to enjoy fashion and their beloved horses, with great hair play, while some thought just a hair undercooked in concept and execution.
This is a problem for me.
Love them or hate them, Equestria Girls left an indelible mark on doll culture and deserve a place in every collection and narrative. Right? Right! Hi everybody, I'm Athena, this is Audacious Dolls, and welcome to my doll world. In this deep dive, we'll journey through the history of the My Little Pony Equestria Girls doll line from its 2013 debut to its quiet retirement in 2020. How long did that last? Well, we'll explore how the line evolved through multiple sub-series, how the consumers reacted to the doll's design choices, and why Hasbro ultimately stepped away from the brand. As an adult doll collector, I think that Equestria Girls represents both a bold experiment in cross-demographic marketing and a cautionary tale about the limits of reinventing a classic toy property.
You can't do a flip like that, Ken.
At least without proper care, fan inclusion, and just a little bit of pixie pony dust. Now, the origins and intention.
Equestria Girls. Friendship games, Applejack and Fluttershy. Rainbow Dash, Sunset Shimmer, Motocross time. Who will be the first to cross the finish line? Scan each code with the app to unlock the fun inside. Equestria Girls Friendship Games dolls, each sold separately. Ask a parent to download the app.
Hasbro launched Equestria Girls in 2013 as part of the fourth generation of the My Little Pony franchise, wildly popular at the time. The line humanized the core pony characters into high school students and tied them to a feature film of the same name. According to Wikipedia's summary of the toy line, the first lineup, simply called Equestria Girls, featured the main cast and introduced two types of dolls. Standard dolls with the minimal accessories and limited articulation, and the deluxe dolls with jointed elbows and knees, plus extra outfits and accessories. The choice reflected Hasbro's desire to compete in the fashion doll aisle. As design director Angie Northrup later explained, the redesign was aimed at making the characters look like real teenagers with on-trend fashions that girls could aspire to wear. Early sets also paired dolls with their pony counterparts in packaging to emphasize the continuity between the brands. Sublines, music, sports, and magic. The success of the original film paved way for a series of movies and corresponding doll lines, as most doll lines come with. Each line introduced new character variants and accessories while experimenting with themes. Rainbow Rocks, 2014, a music theme line tied to the fans' Rainbow Rocks film. Phantom's Toy page notes that each standard doll came with an instrument, backstage pass, while deluxe variants sang or included extra outfits. Rockin' hairstyles, dolls dressed in characters and outfits inspired by different musical eras, and vehicles like DJ Pone 3's Rockin' Convertible broadened the play pattern. Friendship Games, 2015. Released alongside the Friendship Games film, this line offered school spirit standard dolls and sporty style deluxe dolls. The deluxe dolls came with sporting equipment and articulated arms and legs, allowing them to pose in archery, motocross, and roller skating activities. New characters from Crystal Prep Academy, such as Indigo Zap, Lemon Zest, and Sugar Coat joined the core cast. Legend of Everfree, 2016. Inspired by a summer camp adventure, this lineup featured boho, geometric, and crystal gala assortments. The dolls incorporated elements like transparent crystal wings and nature-themed fashion. Hasbro introduced a new character, Glorioso Daisy, and used the line to test more detailed accessories and varied silhouettes. Equestria Girls Minis, 2015 and onward. These articulated chibi-style figures responded to collectors who preferred stylized caricatures rather than the taller fashion dolls. Fandom reports that the first wave, announced in 2015, included 6 main characters. Later waves added Sunset Shimmer, DJ Pone 3, and Flash Sentry. The minis line was supported by short animated web episodes and eventually eclipsed the standard dolls in popularity. Better Together, 2017 to 2020. As the Equestria Girls web series launched, Hasbro updated the dolls with new face sculpt and smaller 9-inch bodies. Wikipedia's yearly lineup section notes that Better Together series ran from 2017 until the line's discontinuation in 2020. These releases focused on everyday scenarios like sleepovers, school dance, and casual fashion, moving away from earlier film tie-ins. Other notable releases. Alongside the main film's lines, Hasbro issued numerous exclusive or experimental series. Through the Mirror, a Walmart exclusive that paired pony and human versions of characters like Twilight Sparkle and Sunset Shimmer, complete with dress and mirror accessories. Equestria Girls Collection, non-articulated budget dolls of the core cast with simple outfits based on their film appearances. Wild Rainbow, a Target exclusive extension that introduced human versions of the Cutie Mark Crusaders. McDonald's and Pony Mania promotions. Fast food toys and Toys R Us exclusives. Pony Mania sets offered cheaper ways to collect the characters. Elements of Friendship, a series of minis sold at the San Diego Comic-Con featuring sparkly versions of the characters. Consumer reactions, praise, and pain points. Collectors' initial excitement quickly gave way to mixed reactions. Basic Equestria Girl dolls had painted on tops, limited articulation, while deluxe dolls included extra outfits and jointed limbs. Some collectors disliked the painted clothing, arguing that it made the dolls hard to redress and less realistic. In other critiques, people lamented that the dolls' peg feet made them impossible to display without their shoes, which made it much more difficult standing up and moving around easily. The Toy Box Philosopher review of Rainbow Dash echoed these concerns. The author praised the doll's bright hair and articulated limbs, but was puzzled by the anthropomorphic design, noting that Rainbow Dash looked not quite human with her cat-like face and awkward pony ears. They criticized the knobby peg feet and cheaply made accessories, complaining that the backpack didn't fit well and the hair clip seemed fragile. Their conclusion captured many collectors' ambivalence. The doll was fun alongside its pony counterpart, but failed to stand on its own due to its unclear identity. Fan comments also revealed deeper unease. Some longtime pony fans felt that the line ditched the simple innocence of the original ponies to chase the Monster High demographic, and the humanoid designs reminded them of fan art, which I think that's fine, but others didn't like that. Monster High is great, so is fan art. Anyway, a My Little Pony High is even better than Monster High. Just kidding. Others admitted that despite their discomfort, they were drawn to the doll's novelty. Such reactions underscored the cultural tension between nostalgia and innovation. Hasbro's response and redesign faced with criticism and shifting trends. Hasbro revisited the line. At the 2018 New York Toy Fair, design director Angie Northrup explained that the company sought to update the dolls because it's been quite a few years since they launched, and to ensure that they could compete with other fashion dolls. The team studied current teenage fashion and aimed to give each character a unique look that teenage girls could imagine wearing. Northrop acknowledged that the original line disappeared for a little while and emphasized that the relaunch would focus on realism and aspirational style. These design shifts led to the Better Together line, which adopted smaller bodies, softer facial features, and contemporary outfits. Cultural impact and legacy. Equestria Girls occupies a curious place in toy history. On one hand, the line leveraged the enormous popularity of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic and the emerging brony fandom to expand Hasbro's reach in the lucrative fashion doll market. The line experimented with music, sports, fantasy, and everyday life themes across at least 6 major sublines and numerous exclusives. The characters appeared in 4 films, multiple web series, and generated multimedia franchise that kept the My Little Pony in the spotlights throughout the 2010s. Now, don't look up bronies unless you only look at the Jenny Nicholson video, which is like an hour and a half long. That's safe to look at. Everything else, don't. I haven't. Jenny Nicholson's the only safe place to discuss that.
You represent everything wrong with our culture.
On the one hand, the doll's hybrid design alienated portions of the existing pony fandom while failing to capture the Monster High audience that it coveted. Collector reviews highlighted practical flaws like the peg feet, painted tops, and fragile accessories, and cultural critics decried sexualized styling, which I do not see at all with this or Bratz or Barbie. The sexualizing doll comment, is it sexist, misogynistic? It seems like it to me, and we can't get away from it. I mean, because they usually represent women's bodies, so that will always follow it. But I feel like if you're sexualizing a doll, that's a you problem. Okay, there's nuance to this. It's delicate. And just because it's a toy does not mean it needs to be sexualized. Okay, thanks. Welcome and goodbye to my TED Talk. I don't want to discuss this any further. And that's that. So thank you. Goodbye. Hasbro's own design team admitted they needed to re-examine what made a fashion doll appealing and to update the line accordingly. By 2020, the doll line quietly ended, leaving behind the minifigures and the web series as its final legacies. Why collectors should care or not care? It's up to you to decide. For adult collectors, Equestria Girls offers a fascinating case study in brand evolution and risk-taking. The line dared to merge 2 distinct toy genres, pony figures and My Little Pony figures specifically, which are classic, and fashion dolls, producing designs that were both innovative and polarizing. While many collectors dismissed the dolls at the time, their experimental nature and limited production run have made certain releases, especially the later Better Together and Legend of Everfree sets, increasingly sought after. Moreover, the minis line's chibi aesthetic prefigured the success of the similar stylized figures in other franchises. Final thoughts. Equestria Girls is not a failure so much as a bold chapter in doll history. The lines rise and fall and illustrates how toy companies navigate competing demands, honoring nostalgia, courting new demographics, and responding to cultural critiques. Whether you display these dolls with pride or you keep them tucked away as curiosities or you forgot about them or you never had them, they remind us that innovation sometimes requires controversy and being a little different than the rest. Nothing wrong with that. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Athena. I hope you have an amazing day full of My Little Pony and doll fun. Bye!
Bye, Barbie.